Most people have heard about Kakadu, the rugged mountains, the wetlands, the wildlife, and those spectacular sunsets. But this isn't the Northern Territory, it's South Australia, a still undiscovered outback experience. We're on a 13-day four-wheel drive tour through this lonely but surprising country, a long way from the five-star hotels and air-conditioned coaches of Kakadu. Our tour leader is Andrew Dwyer from Diamantina Tours, and this journey will take us from Adelaide, north through the Flinders Ranges, up the Oodnadatta Track and over the Simpson Desert to Birdsville. This is Mount Chambers in the Flinders Ranges. Originally, this mountain was layers of sediment on the ocean floor. Some 800 to 1,000 million years ago, after the water had disappeared, movement of the Earth's crust forced the layers upwards to create what is probably the oldest mountain range in the world. Mount Chambers is one of the overnight campsites, so you have plenty of time to take in the scenery. As we travel north out of the Flinders Ranges, the countryside flattens out. Not much grows out here, some saltbush, and there's lots of rocks. It's hard to believe that anyone could live out here, but the Aboriginals roamed this area for thousands of years, and just off the road is an amazing relic of that culture, an ochre mine.
Ochre was the currency of Aboriginal Australia, and ochre from this quarry was traded the length and breadth of the continent. This red ochre primarily was used in ceremony, and there's an orange one as well. They'd pound this stuff into paste or mix it with animal fat and use it to paint on cave walls or in ceremony.
Most of the highlights of this safari are well hidden, and to see some examples of Aboriginal art, we had to walk along a dry creek bed and up the side of the bank.
If you ever try painting with ochre, it's very difficult. You know, mixing the fat with the ochre and trying to get the right consistency. And sometimes you'll get it really watery and it won't work. It's quite a skill.
After a quick bite for lunch, it's time to hit the road again, heading for Lake Eyre. This huge salt lake is the lowest point on the Australian continent, about 12 metres below sea level. It's estimated that there's 400 million tonnes of salt deposited on the Lake Eyre complex, forming a crust on the surface. In 1964, Sir Donald Campbell broke the world land speed record on Lake Eyre. I presume the surface then was a little firmer than this.
Oh, yuck.
The evening meal is always something special on a Diamantina tour. Tonight it's roast lamb and veggies, all cooked in the camp oven. You also get wine with your evening meal.
Drover finds it hard to change his mind.
After dinner, there's a sing-along around the campfire. Well, Andrew sang, the rest of us sat around and listened.
Hands with the burning light of day.
You don't expect visitors out here, but we managed to get one. John Reid is an ecologist with Western Mining. He monitors the environment and any effect from the uranium mine at Roxby Downs. John is also a trained zoologist and collects data on the local flora and fauna.
Dragons and goannas, things like that, and snakes. Quite a few snakes around.
Yeah?
Yeah.
John claims that snakes are more frightened of us than we are of them. It's also not easy to find one, unless you know where to look.
Becky, here's one now. Don't come too close because he's a brown snake.
Where did you find him?
He was just crawling through the bushes here.
What are the chances of being bitten by one if you're camping out here?
The chances of being bitten are very, very slim. In fact, you've probably got a much better chance of dying of thirst or rolling your car or something like that than being bitten by a snake.
Something we did discover is that brown snakes don't like cameras.
Hey, 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 hey.
Oh, yes. Excellent.
Leaving the snake in the grass, we set off over a strange lunar-like landscape. There's the occasional sand dune in this area, and something else too, water. These mound springs, as they're called, vary in size from a mere trickle to a large water hole. The big springs attract a variety of bird life. It's hard to believe that this is one of the driest areas in Australia. As we travel further up the Oodnadatta track, we pass the remains of the original Ghan railway line. It seems a shame that the bridges and rails that took so much effort to build during the last century are now rotting away. The last train travelled these tracks in 1981. Nearing Oodnadatta, we make camp once again. After this stop, the red sand dunes take over completely.
This is actually a 13-day safari, but unfortunately we have to leave them here. Tomorrow they're off through the Simpson Desert to Birdsville.
Diamantina tours depart from Adelaide to Outback, South Australia. The 13-day tour costs $1,799 per person from Adelaide and includes all meals, drinks with dinner, camping equipment and overnight accommodation at the Birdsville Hotel. Safaris leave regularly from April to December.